Be always persistent in your manifesting. Continuously create the good thoughts of how things are here on the surface of Gaia. Do not energize the bad and expend your energy on focusing on the bad things. Rather, you come in from an angle and create the new to take the place of the old perceived bad things. Your manifestations are utmost successful upon putting all of your energy into creating the new. The new takes up a definite space, and with each good new created, a bad must fall, and that occupied space replaced with a good new. Some of you accept and know that there is really no bad, that bad things are guidance mechanisms and contain value. However, the time is over for these strings and no more value can be taken from the bad. You have seen enough of the bad to allow you now to create a good. You are a league that has risen to such a level that you are fully endowed with the ability to rectify and remedy this now. Use it. Your bodies are indeed under constant internal upgrades. Simply, it has to undergo these upgrades to survive the higher vibrations and to be able to bring your miraculous abilities into these bodies. You are conduits of God to do the divine work with the intent, for the good of all. Again, simple. At this point, more of you know beyond certainty the importance of full virtue, and the effects both virtue and non-virtue have upon your prowess as a conduit of God. Simply, virtue empowers, non-virtue disempowers you, and more importantly, deception of any kind will set you on your buttocks in the blink of an eye, so to speak. You must realize and appreciate the extent of the prowess you contain and how it gets stronger each day. You must speak up always when you see non-truth. If you do not speak up and refrain from rectifying a situation, you will see the adverse effects shortly after of you not standing up, which will create confusion for you as well as an attached string or sequence of less desirable events. You will also become physically sick to a degree, because lower vibration is registered into the physical body as a sick feeling. So now you see the importance also of utilizing your gift of truth and let it flow outward in the ripple effect. As revealed to you recently, the light was strategically placed within all societal operating systems upon Gaia, including military and government. Your light comrades there have the important task of revealing all of the deception of the current planetary societal systems. They are the eyes for you in the masses. They carry the truths of the lies and bring them forth for all to see. These comrades are fully protected, and are in place to tear down the old systems and integrate a temporary system that rapidly transitions into the new, which is good for all. The remnants of the dark are totally confused and know no longer who their comrades actually are, because the light was cleverly disguised as one of them. What this does and has caused, is a rapid scenario of fish eating fish, feeding off each other out of the greed aspects. One of the biggest challenges for the light team was the breaking of the intentional conditioning mechanisms of the planet. For the most part, the empowering and internal evolution of the human vessel had rendered the conditioning devices inoperable and dysfunctional once a human vessel was upgraded above the influence level of these conditioning techniques. The overall vibration of the planet's surface also lessens the mass effect of these conditioning mechanisms. The conditioning mechanisms are mostly based on planetary tangible technology with the manipulation of frequencies to control. If the planet's vibration or frequency could be sustained below the upper fear threshold, then the whole population were easily controlled and enslaved, oblivious to their pillage of life and freedom during the human experience scheduled for this period, which was supposed to have begun over a century ago. Once the vibration, the frequency of the planet was raised to a certain appreciable point, in 2012, where the fear frequency began to be weakened and replaced by the higher frequencies, which support love, life and good things, the fear frequencies became ineffective at controlling the masses, and many began to escape the conditioning. As the fear-induced veils began to be lifted, this is to be considered as awareness and the awakening. Common sense was reiterated into those rising above the fear frequency, and seeing the truths, such as if planetary rulers of the planet had the masses' welfare truly in mind, there would be no war, lack, poverty, starvation, etc., that it was uncivilized, that it was a form of savagery, that it was a stagnant restrictive primitive way of being, that it was intentionally being perpetrated for the benefit of a select few. For these select few to enjoy wealth while others starved and died is nonsensical, savage being, based on non-virtue, greed, and could even be referred to as psychologically sick. To intentionally harm others by snatching up the wealth reveals clearly their intents, to secure their reign at the expense of others, the masses, and keep the masses enslaved, working for them, while they enjoyed lives of luxury. One of the greatest and most intense forms of intentional conditioning were found within mind control programs of the militaries. Not only were the individuals of military conditioned by psychological means, they were also unknowingly implanted with devices that worked well within a certain planetary frequency range. These devices were planted, mostly unknown to the individual, in the body during routine examinations and military surgeries. Some of the strategically placed light could not be controlled and knew what was going on, to reveal to others. These devices were designed to emit lower vibrational frequencies into the human vessel that were along the fear spectrum of frequencies. Fear frequencies are lower vibration, and if a frequency of fear could be maintained within a physical body, an energetic field, then that individual became a puppet at the mercy of its handler, the military. So simply, these devices work on frequency, and when one has a high enough frequency, they no longer work properly, and upon a much higher vibration yet, they become rendered useless and are passed from the human vessel by various means. Likewise, one with a very high vibration energy field coming into contact with a conditioned soldier affects the implants to not function as strong as they did, and to also disable the implant functions. Conditioned military and enforcement agencies cannot impose, nor be in the vicinity of a high vibrational one in an aggressive manner. They must submit to what is morally and ethically correct. Frequency will not allow it. Your God strength is frequency. The key to overcoming any mind control program is to simply raise one's frequency. To raise frequency, be very meticulous with your food and water. The least chemicals the better. The chemicals in the foods and waters are actual conductors of low frequency along the fear spectrum of frequencies. The biochemical reactions within the human vessel caused by these chemicals, lower vibration into the fear vibration range. The same as you are a conductor of light, of guide energy, upon raising your frequency, the lowering of your frequency enables you to be a conductor of fear-based energies which are manipulated and controlled by the remnants of dark. Which do you choose? Other intentional conditionings of frequency are, but not limited to: 1. EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. These low-density fear-based frequencies are intentionally emitted upon you through power lines, Wi-Fi, phones, transmitting towers, microwaves, TVs, radios, all electronics, helicopters, low vibration carried on dense noise from props, aircraft, loud vehicles, dense bass music, etc. Get away from as most of them as possible. This is why nature is so appealing to many. Stay away from low-density fabricated humming noises. They lower the vibration. 2. Perpetrated and staged fear-based events like massacres, bombings, wars, etc. They condition the people by displaying fear events on news stations that lowers subconsciously one's vibration, which in turn, affects others into fear frequency. For example, a staged event like 9/11 may be greatly publicized to instill a fear vibration that makes those affected by it become aggressive and want to take revenge, lowering the entire planet's vibration into a state of fear, where once again, the masses are controlled and willingly place their consent into the hands of the perpetrators for protection against a perpetration, which is actually a falsity created for that exact effect. These are now well known as false flags, and their intent is to instill fear and lower the vibration in favor with their conditioning fear vibration. 3. Be persistent in switching up your mentality to always positive. This changes the polarity of any emissions of fear frequencies being projected at you. Trust in God, and know that you are being empowered above the planetary conditioning, to assist in bringing it down, and creating the new. The leagues of heaven upon the surface are growing in numbers daily. Align with the God light. 4. Stay away from high areas of chemtrail deposits. The chemtrails deposit aluminum, which is toxic to humans, but more importantly, an aluminum-enhanced ground. The surface of Gaia becomes a conductor for fear-based frequencies, charging the area and the energetic, the electric humans, with a lower vibration. 5. Forcing another to lie, deceive, act against moral and ethic energy, etc. This sets off a negatively charged sequence of events, which in some cases, affects many negatively, and disempowers them. Do not engage in any order or request from another that infringes upon what is right in the heart. Stand your ground and do not participate in any action that you know has the ability to harm or impact others in a negative, untruthful way. You must remember, frequency is also carried through all events. It is contagious, whether it be dark or light-based. End article. Next article, update February 3rd. The Ascension encompasses every belief and theme of Earth, nothing is excluded. What you believe may be very real for you, while what others believe is very real for them. You have all been subjugated to certain experiences brought about at your soul level, and these experiences transpired oblivious to the conscious state at the time. You are all one, and although belief seems to still separate and great respect in this now, it is essential to individuality and is temporary. It all converges in the future. What is written below is more for a few that have been subjugated to mind control and are currently rising out of that darkness. This may not resonate with some of you, and that simply means it is not for you at this time. However, it does not negate the fact that it is indeed very real. Those of you that escape the total confines of the various mind control programs, know that it is very real and know the adverse effects that it had on your soul growth. Some of you have also had family members and friends that were severely compromised by these programs, and received valuable information about the program's intents, as well as how they work. As you know, these various mind control programs are and were very powerful, and it takes incredible strength by an individual to break free of a directed perpetrated control. But, the breaking free by so many, is happening. There were always forms of mind control on this planet, some intentional, some not. Some programs benevolent, others intentionally malevolent. Upon knowing this creates a choice for the heart. Would it not be more favorable to follow a program that resonates with the heart, or one that resonates with the brain? We know that the human brain can be tricked and manipulated into believing untruths. Can the heart be manipulated by untruths? If you accept and know that the heart cannot be manipulated in its knowing, then perhaps the best option is to follow the heart, until the brain is reprogrammed to listen and accept the heart. If one cannot trust either the heart nor mind, what do they have left to trust? It becomes very obvious that a human must have some directive guidance that it can trust. Without any guidance mechanism, what is the point of this existence? The powerhouse of the soul is the heart. You project and manifest from the heart, that is where it begins. It then travels into the brain to be projected outward in the form of thought, creating a reality. If the mind or brain can be influenced and manipulated, then at that point your manifestations become distorted and controlled by whatever is manipulating your thoughts, and a different, perhaps undesirable creation manifests. So, at this point, you have choices to attempt to clean up your manifestation ability, freeing it from manipulation, or let it continue distorting your creations and in a circle, keep creating repetitive Groundhog Days for you. For most, Groundhog Days are not fun and become boring and monotonous, with the same old. Break the programming, get out of Groundhog Day, and do something different, more in line with your heart, your strongest, cleanest discernment feature that you, as an organic, can trust. It is your choice to jump to a new game, or keep playing the old game. Or is it really your choice? Perhaps it is not entirely your choice, and that your choice is connected to a larger choice, the choice of others as a group. If this is the case, then you may accept that the old game is dissolving, and it may be a more favorable choice to jump to the new game. When you accept and understand that your energy supports whatever game you are tuned into, would you rather support a game that has been played over and over, or support a new game where you have more tools and increased prowess in contributing to the new game? I believe the choice is obvious. With that out of the way, let us direct our attention back to how we may strengthen ourselves beyond the conditioning, beyond the manipulative influencing of the brain, the mind. First comes the choice in any process, and it holds true for this process. Initially, simply choose to overcome any conditioning of your mind by malevolence. I choose to label the malevolence and create a separation that allows for benevolence to be a favorable opposite choice and introduce its prowess into the equation. This isolates the undesirable, and then it can be focused upon and dissolved, with the assistance of the opposite, the desirable, the benevolent. To assist in the initial choice of breaking away from any realized mind control and any hidden attributes, choose to keep bringing in higher vibrational food, thought, environment, friends, affirmations, etc., coupled with the persistent positive mentality to free you of all programming against your free will. From a higher empowered state, start recognizing the triggers by using the sensations, the heart, to assist in this discernment to set you free. Understand that you need not follow another blindly, including me. Retain your individual thought, just purify it to assure you are receiving the higher self and not some program that may have the intent of trickery. It is best to connect with the highest power that you believe in and ask for assistance from that source. You will receive unmistakable signs that your prayers were indeed answered by having patience and observe intently the events afterward. A mind control program cannot physically alter material things. This is your clue that you are not being tricked and that you are receiving the desired assistance that you requested. For example, you walk outdoors immediately after asking for assistance and see an angel shape form in the clouds. A mind control program cannot do this, only pure thought can even create it. Once you begin to see the heavenly signs, keep empowering yourself and only believe what resonates in your heart. This weeds out the misinformation out there, the mind control and any other misconstruence. We are editing the new 5D dictionaries, haha. Observe what are triggers to the mind control, numbers, symbols, words, etc., then switch the polarity of any triggers to positive meaning. This changes the code words to a benevolence, and their negative impact is subdued. Do not run from the identified triggers, document them to assist others in identifying them, and disempower them by changing the polarity of the energy attached to the trigger to positive. It then renders the trigger inoperable, useless. For more advanced light ones aware of the mind control programs, use your good thought intent to destroy the technological sources of these emissions, so we do not have to attempt to assist from the bottom up. We can do it with a couple clean sweeps of the mind control sources. It is time to take down these manipulative suppressants. Love and light. Rick.